Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. Welcome to 2017. As we always say, it's kind of hard to believe that 2016 is behind us, and yes, it is. And so on today's show, I was hoping to have my new co host, but unfortunately, we're having some audio problems. As you know, Bridget. Oh, by the way, I'm Charles Morris. I should introduce myself. And this is the Journey 2020. And we've been around since 2013. And normally, we started off with Dr. John Robertson, a psychologist here in the Orlando area. But he's been on hiatus for a while now, so I've been carrying the load. And thank you for tuning in. And this show is, we're going to do some reflections of 2016. And I was so hoping to have Bridget because we have so much to talk about and what happened in 2016. But she's there, but I can't hear her. And I don't know if Bridget can hear me, but she's giving me signs. And I don't know if you can do sign languages or something like that. But I also have with me France Neal. And France and the three of us were supposed to reflect upon 2016. It was an interesting year. Some say that they're happy to for it to be over, but I always say there's nothing new under the sun. I don't think there's anything really that happened in 2016 that hasn't happened in everyday life. So first of all, Bridget, I don't know what I'm going to do as far as your audio, but if you hey, listen, can you text me? Cause I mean. Except for now, I don't know where my phone is. Oh, here it is. Can you text me? Yeah. Okay. Oh well, France. Hallelujah. How you doing? Okay. Well, why don't you give us a little background on France Neal?
Okay, I'm a singer here in the Orlando area. Moved from Las Vegas. So worked out there for a while with a number of different people. And I've worked at Disney for some time. I'm currently subcontracted there and do events throughout the year. We just finished a wonderful gospel Christmas show called Joyful that we do every season. That has been very well received and very successful. And it's nice that people are so receptive for praising the name of Jesus in the parks, and even people who from other cultures who may be of a different religion are being encouraged and very receptive to it because we're teaching them some things in our show through song and dance, and it's just been wonderful. That just closed up a few days ago. And
Well, now as far as Joyful, you should tell them to just Google it on YouTube so they can get a.
oh yeah, you can YouTube it, and you'll see quite a few videos. Most of them from Charles Morris, as one of my young coworkers said. He said, "I thought he knew you." It's funny. He said because he said, "Oh, I've seen Charles Morris. I know Charles Morris or whatever." And it turned out he had learned the show from watching your videos and learned some of it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. But the show itself is a very inspiring, high energy show. The show is about between 22 and 24 minutes, and there's actually 4 shows a day.
Yes.
And the show runs from the day after Thanksgiving to the 30th of December.
Yes, that's correct.
Right.
About 5
Okay.
weeks, just about.
Right. Okay. Now, Bridget, you called me back. And I still can't hear you. So I don't know what's going on from that standpoint. But talking about 2016, and I'll ask you. There's a couple of things that I can, reflect on when it comes to 2016. But why don't you reflect a little bit on 2016 for me? What stands out? Because there's a couple of things. And Bridget, because there's so much that I have to say. I'm going crazy. But yeah, go ahead. Tell me.
Well, obviously, the biggest thing for 2016, I mentioned I do the show Joyful, and one of our members who had been there for the last several years happened to be at Pulse and was one of the 49 victims taken from us. Shane Tomlinson very vibrant young man, and I heard some sound.
Yeah.
And so for me, that's probably definitely the biggest impact, that I lost someone that I worked with and respected and
Well,
cared for
well,
in that.
we were just talking about the show itself, Joyful,
Mm-hmm.
and how long has Shane been part of the show?
This would have been his fifth year.
Okay, and
And I also do a Motown show with him, or
right,
I did a Motown show
right,
with him also.
and he had his own band as well.
Frequency is the name of his band, and Janelle and Christopher Baptiste and Chris Stokes and all of those guys have kept the band going. I know DJ Derek Young, he's a wonderful young vocalist talent here in the Orlando area, has popped in and filled in sometimes. I'm not sure if they have a replacement. I know they were searching, but Shane is very vibrant, handsome, talented, amazing person, and to get somebody in that full-time position is not going to be an easy task. But I know they may already have someone. I'm not 100% sure, but Frequency is the name of the band, and it is still out there. They're still out there doing their thing, and in the area and throughout the state of Florida.
No, it's interesting because when you were talking about, reflecting, I it's funny that I didn't think of Shane, um, and that whole Impulse
The
nightclub,
Pulse. Yes.
Pulse,
Mm-hmm.
Pulse, I'm sorry, Pulse,
Mm-hmm.
nightclub. But as far as Shane and what that was like when the rehearsal started and there was no Shane, can you kind of share what that was like?
I think we knew it, but then the moment it hit everybody is when we started rehearsing one of his songs, which was Silent Night, and you could just feel the energy in the room and the tears. But we made it through that, and some people were Javon Jones, very close to Shane, and he did a wonderful job because they did the same track or do the same track, or so. But I think that first rehearsal was pretty profound.
Right.
But
Why don't you talk about the tribute that the people in this area did, because you, the funeral itself from here and from his hometown.
hmm yes, they did. We did a tribute memorial service here, and there were so many wonderful, talented people involved in it. As a tribute to those who could not make it to the funeral service, which was held in his home state. But it was I have kitties, and the ones over here messing with the wires. Go away. Excuse me. And oh, excuse me. So the memorial service was very, very profound. We did like a celebration of his life, is basically what it was. And also there's a video of that online, isn't there?
Right.
I understand, yes.
Yeah, well, that was a video that I did even before that.
Yes, exactly.
Right,
That's what I'm
right.
referring to.
Oh, well, I'm just talking about the one that came out.
Oh, yes, they released you because
About
yes.
3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yes.
Yeah, one that, another one. But what you didn't know was at the end of that video was they had a lot of my pictures of Shane.
Oh, okay. From the Joyful Show,
Right,
and
right,
yes.
right,
Mm-hmm.
right. So they used a lot of the pictures that I
Yeah.
took from Joyful to End It.
Mm-hmm.
So they did a very good job with that as well. That whole thing of Pulse and it's national news, and something similar happened at
Yeah.
the beginning of this year, but in reflection of 2016, it's kind of hard not to talk about Donald Trump. That's.
I thought you were going to move on to Turkey. What happened with Turkey? With same
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
well,
but
well,
yes. Mm-hmm.
yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
As of now, as far as Turkey, the gentleman actually, from what I understood, I think he left his weapon there, and they're still looking for him. As of now, they have not found him, as far as I know.
Yeah.
But I think he killed like maybe 56 people.
Yes. Same type of scenario.
Right.
Yes.
And this is certainly a different world that we live in now. In 2016, I think they were talking to Barack about the racism and the problems we're having in this country. And of course, it's going to be addressed as if though, because it's under his watch and during his time, as if though it's his problem as president of the United States. To me, I think what 2016 did was it just revealed who we are, and because of nothing is new, it's just now because of the technology,
Yeah.
Twitter and Instagram and instant messages, we are now able to really see who we are. And so 2016 just revealed where we thought we were, but we're not,
Yes, yes.
to me.
yes. No, I would agree. I would
You know,
definitely agree. I think a lot of
um,
times there are conversations that take places in people's homes that, you know, don't people don't know about, and then somebody like you had mentioned, Trump comes along and exposes certain issues that are being concealed, I guess.
Well,
So,
I've always said that Donald Trump has a right to be Donald Trump. What is scary about America is the embracement of
That's-
who he is.
yes,
He has the right to be Donald Trump.
yes.
Now, I would love to. That's why I would wanted Bridget to be on, and actually not necessarily for this, but I would love to have a panel of women and men, because that whole dynamic, because from a man's point of view, to take it to another level of that and what he had brought to the table, because now, and I've never asked this question of a woman, but I've loved to have gotten the insight between you and Bridget, and from a man's point of view, here I can say, well, where do you stop in reference to, as a man, I'm looking, now I'm speaking from a man's point of view. I got the president of the United States saying it's okay to grab a woman by the pussy. All right? So now, as a man, whoever is on that line of whatever that is when it comes to trying to justify my madness, I'm looking at a woman to say, okay, so there is something to say about when I do what I do. So that's really not being abusive. I'm not really abusing, being abusive to you, because you voted for a man who you said it's okay. Because in a man's mind, all those things that you thought would cross a line and eject, a woman would say, no, I don't want. Now you're going, wait a minute. For all the women that voted for this man, to a lot of men, they're saying, maybe I can slap her, grab her, abuse her, and do these things that maybe I thought it was, but maybe it's not. Because if you got this man and you saying, okay, and as a guy, you're going, well, if the president of the United States can do it, why you give me a hard time, woman? You know, what's up? Did you not vote for him? That's on a whole nother level, but you process stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that sets an example for, I think, what people will put before certain things, before their morals or values. I think the fact that there's a lot of women who say they do not agree with it, but what they said was that, but that has nothing to do with why I'm voting for him.
But you can't have it both ways.
I agree 100%. I agree 100%. I think it sets a very poor example as to what we will tolerate, just because we think that we want certain things.
That's my point,
Yes,
because
it's very
that's
poor
my
example.
point from a man's point of view. Because what I'm trying to say, and maybe I'm not saying it right, but from a guy's point of view, you're saying to me, you know what? If I have enough money, and if I could do this for you, because you're looking at things from a materialistic standpoint and what I can do for you, oh, so there's no limit to my madness when it comes to you as long as my pockets are deep enough.
Well, what did you say earlier? There's
What's-
nothing new under the sun.
Right.
That's nothing new. That's been going on ever since when. It's amazing what money and power can get you. It can get you the presidency, that's for sure. Obviously, as we found out in 2016.
Right.
But
Right. So, but from it's because I mean, it can take it to another level because we know what's right and what's wrong.
yeah,
But in a courtroom setting, as a lawyer standpoint, I wonder if that wouldn't be a defense for somebody that says, you know what, women, did you vote for Donald Trump? I mean, somebody that's been, let's just say she's been abused in some kind of way, and now she's on the witness stand, and the lawyer say, well, did you vote for Donald Trump? And the answer would be yes. Then what? But that's the same man that you said it's okay to do this. Is that not what you said when you voted for him? I mean, I can see that coming up.
I don't think legally they would be able to do that.
But no. What you're doing is putting something in somebody's mind that has to
the
say,
jury or whoever,
right,
whomever. Oh, okay.
right. See, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So did you really lead him on? Blah, blah, that led to something because you're saying it's okay. Did you set him up so he could grab you by the pussy? No, but
I got you.
But it's that kind of stuff because you opening a door and you because I know how men think.
Yeah.
I know how we think. That's easy to cut that off, but that's not what happened.
Yeah.
You know, you can't say, well, we don't process stuff like that. Well, no. No, you done open that door and men looking at you like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, all right. But that's a whole nother panel, a whole nother discussion, you know, but help me. I don't know whether or not this is her, but okay, let me see what she's saying here. She said what Trump said was hidden in the dark. Ooh, it went away. Let me bring it back. I'm gonna get to you, Miss Norvell. What Trump said was hidden in the dark for a long time. If some women did expose of self them short, he wouldn't be able to have done that. Expose or self them. Okay, I missed the last part of that. But I know how guys think. I know how they think, but that's just part of it, you know.
They think if the president can
Right.
if he can, he actually at the time he was not president, but if somebody running for president can still get the presidency after a video like that comes out, then it must be okay for some women, you know,
saying
the ones who voted for him.
basically saying it's okay.
Yeah.
And guys are always, well, can I
And
push it? Can I push it a little further? Because guys already in their minds already, well, you know, she want me anyway. She just, you know, and so it's just I'm telling you, women don't understand that door they open.
I think a lot of women don't realize they don't take that as the same as voting for him. They don't take that as condoning his behavior. They say I condemned his behavior, but I would still vote for him because. But like you said, I personally don't think you can have it both ways.
Because
So
I'm telling
know.
you, because what I'm telling you is men look at that to say, okay, it's not about what it should be about. It's about whether or not I have money. And if I have money, you're going to say to me, I can do a whole lot of things because you are about what's in my pocket.
Well,
So
that's like you said, that's
right?
nothing new.
And I'm telling you, men, when men get to that point and they see you that way, that opens up a whole nother door, Pandora's box, in which women have no idea the mindset, because now it's something else that you really not ready. But then there's some women that are ready for that stuff. Not all.
There's some women that's their life. It's
Right,
been that
right.
way for centuries.
Right, and be like,
And
well,
it'll be like that
Be like,
for-
well,
yes.
can I? Okay, can I bring the donkey too? Yeah.
Oh my God.
How much money you got? Yeah, I can bring the donkey. Okay, all right, okay.
I think the thing about the whole Trump thing that scares me more, I know I told you this, is you may have been getting to this also, because it's a totally different topic from that, about the whole Russian hacking thing.
Right.
Because when it was happening, I couldn't believe that people weren't more outraged that we could let. And I said basically we just let another country choose our president.
Right,
that's
right,
that's
right.
to me is the scary, more scary
Then
than
Trump.
anything, and that people are fine with that. I
Right. Yeah, I
just
know it's kind of weird
yeah
that that's acceptable and that's okay.
yeah
That another country can
manipulate
right,
it.
can
Yes.
hack our system,
Hmm.
and you just go, well, it's just like that's crazy.
Yeah, that's
But
scary. It's
that's just going to show you
scary.
how crazy we are as a whole. As people,
Mm.
as a society. We had a lot of deaths in 2016.
Yeah.
We talked about Shane, of course. I can start off by saying that I lost my father in 2016, and he passed away in April. What's anyway? Something's going on here, but lost my father, and he was 86 years old. He would have been 87 in December. I was reading yesterday. Remember, I was saying online, a gentleman in Indonesia had a birthday. The
Yeah.
man turned 146 years old.
Wow.
The man is 146, people. The man was born in 1870. He's 146 years old. Lord have mercy.
I wonder what his diet was or
Yeah,
is.
he is. Don't be putting the man in the ground now. You know what
No,
I'm
that's why I
saying?
changed it.
You putting the man in the ground. You know, but yeah, he's 146 years old. Um, trying to do this real quick, but anyway, um, Herbert Lee, Arthur Herbert Lee, To Kill a Mockingbird, Pulitzer Prize winner in 1960. Who else? That's on the top of my list right here. Who were some of the people? Oh, Nancy Reagan. Nancy Reagan passed
Yes.
away. There's a lot of people. Ron Glass, he was one of my favorite actors from Barney Miller, along with Fish, the gentleman that played Fish, the older gentleman that
Oh
played Fish,
yeah. Uh-huh.
because he was probably 146 too.
Yeah, because he was under 46 doing Barney Miller.
Yeah, really. And I mean, I got a list of people here. David Bowie.
Yes.
David Bowie. I mean, and we got to talk about Prince.
Oh yes.
What
Wow.
now you being an artist, what was Prince to you?
I just respected him as a talent. With I mean, like everybody. I mean, he played like almost like every instrument expert. As an expert. Like as much as people know him for his guitar, but from what I understand, his piano playing was um, just as good. He the songs that he wrote and left behind. I love his innovation that he didn't put his music or himself in a box, and he actually introduced his own sound to music, and he didn't stray away from that ever. He didn't say, "Well, this is the sound that's out now, so that's what I'm going to do." He just did Prince,
Right.
and
Well, the funny thing about Prince is that what they're saying is that he had so many songs that he had produced that was in his vault.
yes.
So it's kind of like we're going to be hearing new songs from Prince 10 years from now.
I can't wait to hear some of them. Yeah.
And the same as Michael Jackson too.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure because they were saying, but in Michael's vault, he had a lot of music as well, and I can only imagine because that's their world, and when you be that kind of creative mind, there's a lot of things, and for example, won't you give me 3 people that off the top of your head that Prince produced or wrote a song for? Give me 3.
The the Bangles,
Right.
obviously,
Human
Morris
League.
Day and the Time,
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Human League.
No. That was
That was Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, yeah.
Jimmy Jam.
Sheena Easton. Okay.
Right.
There you go. I got my 3 in. Don't ask for more than that now.
Yeah. And so he was such a great talent, and remember the video that I showed you when he was on, what was that, The View?
Oh, yes. Oh, boy.
That was funny, right?
It was funny. But you know what? I've always heard that Prince had a great sense. When you hear interviews about him from people who were close in his circle, the first thing they say for his talent, he was as talented as he was even funnier. He was a jokester. He liked to play jokes on people. So
you know what? I do have a Prince story, but I won't share it. But I have a friend who was friend with somebody very famous, and they were in the club together. And it's a female. If I said her name, everybody would know who she is. And it was during the height of her career at the time, and she was in the club, and Prince wanted to meet her. And she tells the story of how Prince came over to meet her, and it's funny. It's pretty funny. But actually, you know what? I'll say who it is, and I won't say how it happened, but he wanted to meet Jasmine Guy.
oh,
And my friend, who is a friend of Jasmine Guy, kind of tell the story of how it was. But anyway, I just leave it at that. But Prince being Prince, you know. And I would always say, because as a young guy, we used to always say, man, I wish we could go hang out with Prince, because Prince always had beautiful women around. It's like, you know, no matter where you went, Prince, you know, what's the name? Who died?
Vanity.
Vanity.
Oh, I got 4.
Vanity.
Apollonia 6, 5 now. People who produce Vanity, yes.
Vanity, yeah. You know, and yeah, and of course, Muhammad Ali,
Yes.
the legend himself.
Yes,
You know,
exactly.
what?
I got a chance to meet him one time.
Right, oh,
You
yeah.
have to show that
Actually,
picture.
actually, you have your picture up on
Yeah, I
Facebook that you
do.
put up a few years ago about with you and
My best, Tavia.
Tavia with
Yes.
because you tell us about that night.
Oh, we were at the time promoters for different events in Atlantic City, and we were having an event that night, and we were just out trying to promote it, and there happened to be this big event. I forgot which hotel it was where they were, and all I remember is hearing Ali, Ali, and people chanting, coming down the stairs, and all of a sudden there's a huge crowd of people going around Ali, and that at that time it was the early stages of his Parkinson's. So, but we just were invited to the actual event that they were having at the hotel that night, and we got a chance to meet Muhammad Ali and talk with him, and he was very, very kind and human being. And then we, you know,
Well, even though this doesn't have anything to do with 2616, but you got to share your James Brown story. Won't you share your James?
Oh, that's
won't you share your James Brown story?
hilarious.
Won't you know? Share, yeah. Won't you share your
that
James?
definitely has nothing to do with 720. Well, I was singing with a group in Las Vegas called Janor, and Avani, who used to come out, and he was good friends with Vivian Scott at that time, who was in the group, and she was also James Brown's secretary.
That's not Lace, is it?
Yeah, Lace. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Vivian is
Yeah,
Lace.
yeah,
Yes, yes.
Vivian
Probably
used to
confused,
be
yes.
with the group Lace as
But
well.
then, yeah, exactly. So then we had our group in Las Vegas called Janor, and James Brown happened to be performing at a hotel there, but he came, Vonnie brought him to our show, and then he actually was at breakfast, and we all went to breakfast and everything, and I just remember him talking, and it's so true, because you really cannot understand. The only thing I understood that he said was, "Would you come to my show?" So he gave us tickets to his show. But he was just talking away, and I honestly could not understand a word he was saying. But I did. So he actually got us tickets, all tickets to the show, the whole group, and front row seats in a nice little booth area. And he was dynamic. He left it all on the stage, every single drop of it on the stage. I was so thankful that I got a chance to see that and be invited personally by Mr. Brown himself.
Another great artist that was really great and will always be a legend, Maurice White.
Earth, Wind, and Fire. Yeah,
Right. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't
exactly.
come any better than that.
No,
You
another
know,
one.
Maurice, I mean, back in, I can remember, I state my time, but back in the mid 70s, listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire and all their hits, and that album that came out with September on it,
Yeah,
uh,
that,
That's
wow.
the Way of the World,
Mm-hmm.
Haunts of Fire. Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah.
uh-huh.
That album, it was like wow, and everything. It was. I mean, of course, you know they wrote the best of my love. You know,
Yeah. Emotions.
for the emotion.
Such
That's a
positive,
timeless hit.
uplifting music.
Yeah, you know, and just their music and their arrangements and just even I didn't know anything about music, but that it just sounded special.
Yes,
You know
genius.
that whole their sound was just like wow. You know, and you know
Yeah.
we came from that era of sound of the you know you had Confunction,
Cameo.
Cameo, that whole
Barcades.
yeah,
All
the,
of those
you know, but
groups.
I'm saying that rhythm, that sounds, those horns,
Yeah.
and it was just, and it's funny because you grew up with it and you didn't know how special it was because now when you listen to music, it's not that, and it's not that
Unless you're Bruno Mars. He's taking it back, and I love it.
Bruno Mars, right?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's going
actually,
old school. He's
well,
old
see,
school.
right,
Makes
well,
me
see, won't you
school.
tell us the Bruno Mars story then?
I thought I already told that story.
Here,
I think so.
you just told that story.
I thought it. I'm not sure. Are
No.
you?
No, I mean,
I,
won't you tell us the gentleman that you know in the group?
when I first got the Lion King, I worked with a gentleman named Philip Lawrence who had moved on to Tarzan, but he was still subbing at Lion King, and I can still remember. When I think of him, his name was Philip Lawrence, and him sitting on that rock next to me as an Nakawa character, and then he made the big step and moved out to L.A. and eventually him and Bruno hooked up, and the rest is history. I mean, he's Uptown Funk. He has all the writing credits. They all perform together. He's in the group the Smeezingtons, I think, or something like that. But Bruno has this core group of people, and from what I gather, it's a very close knit circle of performers. So, but you were talking about September. The song September, real quickly, I just want to say that as a cover band, that song is one song that you can play that all the kids will always dance to, to anybody from 5-year-olds to 70 will dance to that song.
Oh, okay,
So it's just,
okay.
well known.
Speaking of a great artist, George Michaels. I think he died on Christmas Day.
George Michael, yeah.
Yeah, you know that
He's another one.
he was. I can remember when they came out when he was part of the group, and he was this nice looking gentleman, and I remember him breaking so many women's hearts when they found out that he was gay. They were like, "Oh my goodness, but he's too nice looking. He's too handsome. No, no,
That's
I dream
funny.
about him. You know."
But I knew on Dick Clark when he was saying, "Wake me up before you go." I'm like, y'all were just denial. Sorry, I did not say that out loud. But that's the first thing I thought. I said, there is, I love George Michael, and me, I could care less about anybody's sexuality, as long as you're a good human being.
Yeah, but I'm
I
talking
remember
about.
that Wham! Wake me up before you go. I knew right then.
But I'm saying because he was such a nice looking guy and the women was
Yeah.
falling in love with him, they was like, yes, like they would Michael Jackson and all those artists. Yes, oh, George Michael, and they found out he was gay, and they was like, no, I can.
And the guys were like, yes.
And they were like, I can change him.
That's funny. Yeah, but besides the point, I mean, what a talent. Another one who left like Faith. What was what I will be your oh man, I don't know, there's so many good songs.
Oh, I got a diva for you, Zsa Zsa Gabor.
Oh yeah, we lost Zsa Zsa recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny is I used to get her and her sister mixed up.
Eva Gabor, yeah, yeah,
I mean, because their personalities were similar,
yeah.
you know, and they darling, that kind of
Eva,
thing, you know, and
Eva
they,
Gabor, yeah.
used to, so it was easy to get them mixed up, you know, because I would, but because immediately you'd be like, was Zsa Zsa the one that was on Green? No, no, it was a sister.
Oh,
See, see,
see, I didn't
see,
know
see
that, and
that?
I just watched Green Acres on MeTV just last week.
See,
I was looking
it
at
was a
it.
sister that was on
Wow.
Green Acres, not a
Oh,
Zsa Zsa. Not that, so let's see. Let me see. We talked about David Bowie, right?
who was another innovator? Did his own thing. He did what he does, and didn't follow the crowd. And
We lost John Glenn.
oh yeah, the Eagles. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness,
he was
such
70.
great groups.
Right, he was
All of
77
them.
years old. Uh,
Wow,
yeah,
just legendary.
right. Here's somebody that you didn't know. Um, Bill Backer.
Must be a sports figure.
No,
'Cause
wrong,
every time he tells me what I don't know.
wrong. You would be surprised. He wrote the jingle for Coca-Cola, and he wrote the tagline for Camel. Soup is good food.
Oh, okay.
And remember this one: if you got the time, we got the beer.
Miller
Yeah.
Light.
Yep. Yep. He
Oh wow.
he was another one that passed away. There's so many. Um, that was not. Geez, I'm trying to kill this woman off. What's her name? See, um,
If she's not going, don't say her name.
right. Robert Vaughn. Did you know who he was?
Robert Vaughn.
I used to love. I used to watch him when I was a little kid. The Man from Uncle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I used to watch him
Yeah.
in the blonde-headed guy.
Oh, okay.
Because when I was a little kid, that was one of my favorite shows. You know, The Man from Uncle, and it was tied in with James Bond. And that whole time, because my grandmother, bless her soul, bought me this little. I was supposed to be like a secret agent, and it was in a attaché case, and when you open it, it had like the little gun that you put together, and then when you put together the gun ended up being about like this big.
Oh,
But you know
okay.
how you pop open you pop it open, and then you have all these little accessories in there, and you're supposed to be this agent, and then you set it up, and then you had a little thing where you walked around, and if you if you click the thing, it took pictures while it was closed, and you're supposed to walk around and click, and I'm taking pictures, and nobody knew that you're taking pictures because it's supposed to be like a spy, thing,
Oh, wow.
So all of that came from The Man from Uncle and James Bond at the time when I was about 8, 9 years old. So I was very familiar with him from a long time ago. I'm trying to think of this. Man, where is she? There's a lady that I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember her name. Well, not her, but also Janet Reno.
Oh, yes.
She
Yeah.
passed away as well.
Yeah.
Arnold Palmer
Yeah.
passed away in 2016. I don't know how much of a golfer, but the contributions that he made
Oh, yes.
and everything,
That's why, I mean, you have Winnie Palmer Hospital and
right?
all of that. It's because of Arnold Palmer.
Right. But there's a lady that I'm trying to think of who was around for a while, and she, Patty Duke.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm trying to think
Oh,
of.
wow.
She's in here somewhere, but
Yeah. The
Patty
Duke
Duke.
Show.
Right. You grew up with her. The Patty Duke show, and
But that was the one with her. She was playing two roles, right? Her cousin from England or somewhere who was very proper, and she was like the go-go girl. That was at the Patty Duke.
what's the Supreme Court Justice? What is it? Antonio. How you pronounce his last name? S. Gee, you know what? I'm looking for my glasses, people. I'm sorry. You know, and really. But how much time we have left? Because I wanted to save this here for last. There's quite a few people that we're missing here that I wanted to recognize, and I should have had my
Well, there's,
glasses.
I know there's a big name another big name that you haven't said yet, but
Okay.
the father of an artist who had another huge hit, Blurred Lines, Robin Thicke's dad, Alan
yeah,
Thicke.
yeah. He's on here.
Alan Thicke.
Yeah, Alan Thicke. Yeah, yeah,
Unexpectedly.
yeah. He was such a cool dude. You know, he was so cool.
He wrote a lot of jingles too,
Yeah, yeah.
jingles or shows,
Right.
themed songs for shows.
Right. Gene Wilder.
Yeah.
Gene Wilder passed away, and he was funny. Him and Richard Pryor working together, made quite a few funny movies. Now, let's pick it up a little bit and laugh a little bit. Oh, also Pat Summitt. For those out there in the sports, Pat Summitt was recognized as probably one of the few female basketball coaches that they thought that could probably coach in the NCAA coach men. She was very successful at Tennessee. Always was a winner. Whenever you saw Tennessee, whenever you saw that that white and orange, you recognized the Tennessee Volunteers female basketball team, like you, for those you know how dominant Connecticut is right now, but that was Tennessee when she coached. Also, Greg Sager, who was the sideline reporter for TNT, and he passed away because he had been fighting cancer for a long time. He recently passed away, and a lot of the announcers from all the networks, because he would wear all the crazy looking jackets.
Oh yeah, I remember
Right,
him.
and so in tribute to him, they they all wore the jackets. Nate Thurman, who was a basketball player as well, true old school from back in the '60s and '70s, that was a force to reckon with, also passed away. And we're missing quite a few others, but I just wanted to throw those out there. Was David Bowie still married to?
Iman?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, because they was married for a while.
Yeah, I don't think they were recently, but don't quote me on that.
Right, because it was one of those couples where you just try to figure it out, and be like, you know, because
that's because we think we know people, but we don't. With the
right,
celebrities,
right,
a lot of
right.
times,
I know, right? Because
they put this persona out there.
I mean, because you
something.
try in your mind and be like,
Yeah.
Okay, we have a few minutes left. Mariah Carey.
Oh Lord, that's right. Closing out 2016. With
Closing
that.
out 2016.
Yes, wow.
I have read online, I have seen the videos, the people on YouTube went through all of this, holla, bala, boo, 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 ba, 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 ba. The bottom line is, you got to make it work.
Yeah, exactly. What we say? The bottom line, like you said, you got to. Bottom line is the show must go on, right?
The show must go
Oh,
on.
boy,
People sit
yeah.
there and try and nitpick. What is it? Well, she couldn't hear this. She couldn't do that. Da, 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 da. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You were saying for yourself, if that happened to you, and if you did what she did, you probably couldn't come back to work.
Be fired. Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure.
You know,
Yeah.
so basically we were saying that, an example, in whatever that is, because you can, I've been doing live, I've worked in live television, doing live performances, doing the production on some high-end stuff and, regular stuff. It really doesn't matter. And anybody who works in this field will tell you this. You can have 3 months of rehearsal. You can come in, the show starts at 12 noon, and come in at 5 o'clock in the morning. Set everything, worked everything, go through the rehearsal before the show, and 30 seconds into the show, you go, what the heck was that? Where did that come from? Why did that stop working? What's going on over here? Let's fix it. The gremlins come out, it don't matter what, it doesn't matter. This won't play. That got stuck. It happens on the highest end. It happens. And so what do? Well, part of what we do on this end from a visual standpoint, like for an example, if I have a multi-camera shoot, it's a general practice to always have a cover shot. Well, what does that mean? A shot that I can go to just in case. And just in case what? In case whatever happens, I got a shot that I can go to, or I got a backup or something that I could use. Okay, so in that mindset, that's in every. That's just the way it works.
They did that actually at one point because she left the stage one other time, and they shot to that girl with the glasses.
Right, well, yeah, right.
And then when she came back, they went back. I can only imagine what's going on behind the scenes.
But it doesn't matter if it was the wrong track. It doesn't matter if she couldn't hear. It doesn't matter whatever that was. It doesn't matter. The point of it is that you're paid. You're on the highest level. And I'm not, to me, the whole thing's funny. And I'm not saying it in the sense to be picking at her. I'm saying in the reference of you can't do what she did. Period, and sit there and complain about it because it's kind of like what the guy said. He said, "What Beyonce fell off the stage, fell down, blood slinging, and she's still dancing and singing. She ain't miss a beat." So, for yourself, you were just talking about something that having to do with what was going on a few nights ago when you was performing.
Oh yeah, we had a show. We had a show that we been doing at Disney. And we did sound check. Sound check went fine and everything. And, we start saying our little lines. And I go to say my line and nothing. Yeah. Nothing at all. So then the sound tech comes out and lifts up my skirt in front of all of these people at Disney World to see what's going on with my pack. And it wasn't just me. I mean, the same thing happened to the entire group. We had a lot of issues that night. Both nights, actually. One person's mic, for some reason, kept popping like this loud crackling sound, and then we also had we couldn't cut the audio up too loud because the lavaliers seemed to feed back every time we would sing if they would cut it up too loud, so we could really barely hear what we were doing. And even musically they had to keep it pretty low, so the monitors were they were out completely. I mean, you couldn't hear anything in the monitors. Everything we heard was coming from the house, which was out that way. But no one would have ever known with that group up there because we just kept smiling and telling our story and singing and just kept going because in the end, those people don't care about any of that. They want to see a show.
Right.
And as a performer, you want to give them something. So regardless of what's happening up there, you step outside of yourself and just do what you were hired to do. I mean, I had an instance where one time I was singing in a fairly big room, and there was this loud, like, boom. And I was in the middle of a R. Kelly song, I Believe I Could Fly. And it was loud, boom. And then everything shut down completely. But I just kept right on singing, which is what you're supposed to do. You just keep singing. And then at the end of the song, I got a standing ovation. I'm like, I didn't do anything. And I'm just saying that sometimes we have to take ourselves out of situations. And
that's the whole thing, because we were talking about how many times, and what I was saying earlier, how many times whoever comes up, you cue them to start the music, it doesn't play.
Yeah.
How many times that right in the middle of it, it stops.
Yes.
How many times it skips.
So common.
Right. So it's common, and so whenever whoever does it makes it through it singing a cappella, and they sit there and they're waiting to sing the song, and the music doesn't play, and they go, well, I just sing an a cappella.
Yeah, they sing acapella.
Right, and they just go, and what people do, they stand up, they clap, because they appreciate the fact that the show went on.
Look at Adele and the Grammys when I think the microphone fell on the piano, and you could tell like something happened. I was looking, I was like, well, something just happened, but she didn't miss a beat. She kept going, and obviously everything wasn't flawless, but it still was. It was still what it was should have been. It wasn't her up there, ranting about sound issues.
And I ask you personally, because this is basically what you do for a living.
Yeah.
You perform. A lot of people don't know that you had one of the hottest acts in Vegas. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that you toured with Phil Collins.
Who, when we were on the Tonight Show, he was having a problem with his ear monitor, and they never did fix it. They never fixed it, but he still did what he was there to do, and nobody in that audience, nobody out in TV, no one knew. I know because I was on the stage at the rehearsal when we were trying to get it together, and he just said, "Well, we got to start. Let's just go," and he was flawless. But he's an old pro. I mean, that's what like Mariah Carey's an old pro too. But I don't think Phil Collins, I think, is a little more humble. I guess it looks like so.
Well, now I ask you from a performer point of view and what you saw. Because the reason why I'm laughing, because you said, you gotta see this.
I was trying to explain it to him, and he didn't know what I was talking about. So, I said, I can't. You just have to watch it. So I said, just don't know. So, and we're not trying to put down Mariah. Cause trust me, I love Mariah. I grew up with her music. I love her vocals. I loved her writing.
But from an entertainment point of view, and because of what you do, you would say what?
The show must go on. I mean, I think that, because she said right away, she started to sing, and I noticed that the vocal track didn't play.
But see, you said something that was it, because see, you know stuff and you see stuff I have no clue. Because a lot of times you be saying stuff I don't know what you be talking about, And what I mean by that is that you said something in reference to she can bring it down a key and those type of things.
Oh, because I know her songs are so high, and but like another entertainer who I admire, another vocalist that's very well known in the jazz circuit. She does this live show, and you request songs. She says those are young girls' chords, So she does it a little differently from what she used to do. And I know people may have certain expectations, but from Mariah because of her level. But I mean, even Aretha will change songs to benefit her vocally. So as opposed, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with tracking. I know sometimes it does lend itself to, on that level, maybe that's what you need to do. But it shouldn't be relied on so much. And if you have to change, like you said, the keys or bring it down a step or something, it'd still be flawless in Mariah. People will still love you. But I think people can lose a certain amount of respect for you when you don't follow through with what people have paid you to do, or people your fans have come to see you do. Nobody wants to see anybody tracking every time they go to a show. I would believe.
Right. Well, that's the whole point, because you were saying, like when you were talking about, because that's your world. When it comes to J-Lo, when it comes to Janet Jackson, when it comes to Mariah Carey, you were talking about the differences in how they perform and the way that they perform. Like, for an example, you have a lot of respect for Beyonce because of what she brings to the table.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Mariah is Mariah with that voice. I mean, she is like a voice. Beyonce is an all-around entertainer, and like I was saying, she'll always bring her A game. She just wants to she doesn't want to let people down. You can tell that, and she's dancing and singing and doing everything. Not to say that vocally she's might be what Mariah's. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that she will always give 110%. And regardless of, even if you don't particularly care for everything that anybody does musically, you can always respect that part of it.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
the effort and the energy that they put into making sure that they're entertaining their audience.
Yeah.
Right. And you
And
can
that's why
feel
she's Beyonce. And people can say what they want. She's Beyonce, and she gives it all. She leaves it all on the stage.
right. You know,
I
and
love
that's
that.
you know, there's we all have our different styles, and we all have our different ways of doing what we do. Like, you know, Janet Jackson may not be a strong vocalist, but she's a strong entertainer as far as,
Yes.
you know, she sings enough where she can sing, but she puts on the show.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and I think Madonna used to be the same way.
Yeah.
You know, Madonna would put on a show. You know, now, in where people are vocally, you know, because I remember you saying, what's her name? Oh, Stephanie Mills.
Oh yeah.
You know, Stephanie Mills in reference to Jody Watley. Okay, remember when they used to be, when Stephanie Mills was married to, what's his name, that was part of
Jermaine.
no
I know you're talking about.
No,
I'm not talking about the Jacksons. I'm talking about
no.
Jeffrey.
Yeah,
Jeffrey. I knew it was a J.
Right, Jeffrey, that was
Yeah.
part of Shalimar.
Shalimar.
And he was ragging in her face, giving her a hard time about the fact that Stephanie Mills is a better singer. You know, and you say, well, yeah, I can see, you know, him trying, you know, if he's immature like that, you know, and if he was doing something like that, because in reality, yes, she is a better singer, you know, than Jody Watley, in the sense of, I guess, her natural ability. Doesn't mean that Jody Watley can't sing.
Yeah.
You know, but it's just understanding our different gifts, you know. But when you look at an entertainer and what they do, Beyonce, energy, you expect energy on the stage.
Yeah.
I don't know what Mariah, I mean, where she is now, because you always knew that she was a singer and she could go and reach these high notes and everything. I've never known her to be, you know, putting out that kind of energy on stage. I don't know, you know.
No, she's just mainly a vocalist. Yeah,
Right,
singer.
a
Like
vocal.
Whitney Houston, you know.
Right.
Just-
Oh well, yeah. Well, trust me,
sing.
Whitney did a song called "I Want to Dance with Somebody." And she ain't danced the entire video. I'm like, so you know Whitney could dance. I want to dance with. Well, can you dance one time during the video? Just one. Didn't dance one time during the video. All right, Whitney, you all right with me? But yeah, you know, so Whitney was Whitney. You know, and Whitney wasn't trying to dance with nobody.
No, she didn't have to with those pipes that she had.
All right, we basically kind of went through 26-16. Anything else that you want to say before we get out of here?
Oh, I'm trying to think of some. I mean, there's so much major stuff that happened in 2016, and off the top of my head, it's drawing a blank.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you know, we can do.
You got to do 2016 part 2. 'cause-
Right, yeah, because we got to get Bridget
Bridget
to come back,
on,
and we can,
yes.
you know, we can do a part 2 on that, and then, you know, again, when it comes to Mariah, it's just so interesting how we are, because when I think about her and doing this and being part of putting together a concert or any type of entertainment, and understanding what goes wrong and what happens behind the scenes. But anyway, and what happens behind the scenes, it's just amazing that when you say, well, you got to go see this, and I'm trying to picture out like, yeah, okay, whatever.
That's what I was thinking when I was seeing the post. I said,
So
well,
I'm like,
there's
yeah,
nothing.
whatever,
Never
you know,
realized
you know, I'll go look at it, and I'm looking at it like, what the? And everybody that's watching that video that's on YouTube sitting there looking at it the same way, like, what is she doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I forgot, and we should have started off the show with this. As you can see here, the show, Shin Young,
Oh.
will be here on February the 5th. And
Dr. Phillips Performing Arts Center here in Orlando, right?
yes,
Yeah.
and we're actually giving away tickets. And so the Miss Dr. Van Wyn is giving me some tickets. Yeah. And let me see if you can, the first person to email me at this email address and give me your information will give you 2 tickets to Shenyang, which is, those tickets are expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great show too.
Beautiful show.
Right, and we're gonna have her on so she can tell us a little bit about the history of that show and where it all originated from, and history about the show, and a lot of history on the culture itself. You know, it's interesting because how we see other cultures, and once you hear, you understand that everybody has had their own battles and craziness and madness in which we all have to go through and have gone through, all the craziness and killing people and trying to find yourself and people taking away your lives and rights and everything else. And I think one of the fascinating things is them and doing what they have to do for Christianity.
Yeah.
That's always interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, in their belief in Christ.
That was very profound.
Yeah, yeah. So she's gonna come on the show, and again, Shenyang, which will be at the Dr. Phillips. So go and research it, and if you would like to tickets, you need to email me at this address. See, right here on the Journey 2020, you can get 2 tickets to see Shenyang, and I think those tickets are what, about like 60, 50?
Oh, they're more than that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. I get some VIP tickets. Anyway, thank you for Miss France for coming on the show, and we got to find out from Miss Bridget when we can do a part 2 of reflecting on 2016.
Yeah.
And we can sit back and we can, cause I still want to talk a little bit more about this Donald Trump, and I can grab you by the pussy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bridget could probably have some great input on that.
Yeah, I would want to talk more about our culture and our country, saying that, you know what, it's okay. It's okay that I can grab you by the, I can grab you, yes, but yes, I can grab you. Did I hit that note right?
That was flawless.
How you gonna lie on camera? See? But anyway, I want to thank you for coming on the show. All right, again, I want to thank you for tuning in to the Journey 2020, and a Happy New Year to you. And some says that they're happy for 2016 to be over, but for a lot of us, 2016 was a very prosperous year, and any day above ground is a great day. So I want to thank you for tuning in. Tune in next week at the same time, at 7 p.m. here at www.thejourney2020.com, and enjoy your week. Journey